You.
What's good, my brother?
Was good, was good. Everyone, our star is here. Our star is here.
Not even, man.
Oh,
Not
you
even.
got the fresh cut and everything. Look
Yeah,
at
man. I
you.
went earlier today, man.
Because you knew you were going live. I love it. I love it.
Definitely.
That's awesome, man. How you doing, man? It's been a while.
I'm good, man. Hanging in there, going to work every day. You know how it is, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How's the quarantine treating you, man?
Nah, I'm not even quarantined, man. I'm going to work every day. I'm telling you.
Oh, life continues. Life
Essential.
continues.
Essential.
That's
Yeah.
true. We stay safe, man. We need you out there in the field.
Appreciate
As
it.
a lot of us want to be on the field right now, but due to the
That's right.
circumstances, you got to be
Right.
safe, right?
Definitely.
That's good though. So I want to wish everyone, just be safe, take care of your family, safety first. Eventually, this whole thing will die down. We all know this. It'll pass, and we'll look back and say, "Oh, remember the virus of 2020?" We'll forget about that, but
Yeah.
for now, let's be safe and we'll get back on the field hopefully as soon as possible. So
That's the
cool.
goal.
Nice to have you. Nice to have you. So, for those of you that don't know Ariel, so give us a little introduction of a little bit about yourself.
I'm Ariel, but what do you want to know? Is it baseball wise or
Of course,
personal?
everything, man,
All
everything.
right.
How did you start playing ball? How did you how did
Uh,
you start?
well, my first sport that I picked up was basketball, and then I picked up baseball because of my brother. I always wanted to be like him, so that's why I picked it up. I
At what
picked it up.
age? At what age?
I believe it was like 6, 7 years old.
Ah,
But I started playing on a team when I was like 10. So it took a
ah.
while. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So when you started playing at 10, was this little league? Like,
Hmm.
cool. Where at?
And Juan Marichal League.
La Liga Juan Marichal, ay Dios
Yeah.
mío, ese tigre me robó más dinero que el diablo. I signed
Yeah.
up like three times and I
Chepin,
never signed
Chepin,
up.
right? Oh man.
Chepin y el hijo que, yeah, yeah. Oh my God, good times, good
Man.
times. That's awesome, man. So when you started playing, like what position did you start playing?
My first position was shortstop. Then they moved me to center field. Then back to shortstop. Always went back and forth. Then I actually got into pitching when I was like 12 or so. So, but always those three positions. That's what I was playing.
At what age? So we all know you. You could bring it up over 90 miles per hour, really high
Used to,
velocity. So
used to, used to.
yeah. So at what age did you figure out like, yo, I got a good arm? Like at what age did you feel you
Mm,
reached that point?
maybe 15 or so. I got
15. So this.
clocked. Yeah, no, I got clocked at 15, throwing like 82, 83 miles an hour. And then,
Wow.
yeah, and then actually, I think it was a few years ago. No, no, it's been like 5, 6 years ago. Actually, I clocked at 94, 95.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't throw like that anymore though.
That's awesome,
Yeah,
man. You were zipping it. So you were throwing in mid 80s in high school. Sheesh.
yeah,
Where did you
yeah.
go high school?
JKO High School, no baseball team, but I played a travel team, the Scorpions. Brian Class was my coach. He actually played for
Oh,
Rico. You know Brian Class,
of
yeah,
course, of
yeah.
course.
Hmm.
One of the funniest guys I've ever met.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So okay, so you played travel ball.
Mhm.
Then what happened after that? What is your journey like?
Actually, Rico tried to get me signed a few years ago, but I
Ooh.
said no. Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 years ago, but I said no.
What they want, and you said no. Why did you say no? Who would say
Well,
no to
it
get signed?
well it was independent, but I was just making more money at my job, so I
I
couldn't.
see you.
I had my life, so I couldn't just leave that.
Nah, we've had a lot of Metro guys go into independent ball.
Hmm.
Brian White. Like, there's
Hmm.
a lot of guys that can rake out there, and
Hmm.
opportunities happen. But I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah,
Sometimes your personal life, you gotta
exactly,
make that money, make that bread, right?
exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. So, all right. So then you said you mentioned Rico. You
Hmm.
mentioned Too Hot. So,
Hmm.
you played with Too Hot for a few years. We were teammates there for a few
Hmm.
years, which was a lot of fun.
One of my
So,
favorite teammates.
you just saying that because I'm in live,
Nah,
right?
man, you know that. You know that. You know
Nah,
that.
we had some good times in Chelcha
Definitely.
and on the field
Yeah.
successes. and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Hmm.
But for now, like, what is one of your best memories in Too Hot? Like, what comes to mind? Like, happy times there.
Just the guys, man, being with Rico. Rico is, you know, just one of the best guys I've ever known, honestly. There's not a thing I wouldn't do for him. And
Yeah.
everyone knows that. And anyone, he knows that I got his back 100%. Even though in the summer, the last few years, I haven't played for him, he still knows that I'm too hot. So everyone knows that.
So what happened over the summer? Yeah, you didn't play with Too Hot. So what happened? Why the switch? Huh?
I knew that was coming. Nah, it's just when I left, I think it was like 3, 4 years ago. I think I left to the Titans. I was in the AA roster, and then I went to the single A roster with the Titans. My best friend is Starlin. He was playing for the Titans at the time, and it's just I just wanted to spend time with him. So I just made the move after that. I believe I went to the Rail Spitters after that. It was just what was best at the time, and every fall I always play with Too Hot, and that's never gonna change. It's just what was best for me at the time leaving.
Is there any
No,
we,
no,
we
no,
see
no.
we
It's
see,
nothing regarding anything. It was just what was best at the time. There's nothing really to it.
all right.
Hmm.
I see Starlin in there in the chat with the
Yeah, he's
muscle.
writing it in
My
there.
boy Pinky, yo, I miss you, man. We had some good times too.
Yeah.
So all right. So is there any plans maybe to go back to Too Hot one day? Maybe.
Never know. You never
Never
know.
know.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. All right. All right. All right.
As of right
So
now, I got my own team and I'm in the Rail Splitters AA roster, but we'll see. You never
okay.
know.
So you play for the Rail Splitters right
Hmm.
now,
Hmm.
and you also have the Cubs. Is that right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So how do you manage that? You play for two teams, man, over the weekend, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Obviously, the Cubs is my priority. That's my team. I'm the manager of that team. The Rail Splitters, Cologne knows that I'm gonna make as many games as possible when the season starts. If it starts, who knows? But it's tough. It's not easy. It's tough. I got my own
Yeah.
personal life. But
Yeah,
it's
that's what
tough.
I'm saying. So like a lot of people in the chat probably wondering like, oh, these people play full time,
Yeah.
no tienen vida, lo que se la pasan es jugando y vaina, pero we have lives,
Nah,
yo.
we have
Like
lives. We have
Monday
lives,
through
man.
Friday, we have a job, we have to, we have mouths to feed, we have a
Yeah.
home to maintain, and then we
Hmm.
play ball. We play ball to have fun. We love the game,
Exactly. That's what it's
right?
for, man. We just trying to enjoy it, spend time with the boys, and just get away from life. You're not thinking anything when you're on the field. You don't worry
Yeah.
about your problems, anything. So that's why I enjoy it, man. I'm gonna keep playing as
So
long as possible.
so what are some of your like best memories as a player? Like what is one moment that damn, I'm never gonna forget that moment.
Uh, I was playing with the Scorpions at the time for Brian Class. Uh, it, I grew up with those guys, literally, like every one of them. I'm not gonna shout them all out; it's too many. But I remember I didn't have a good game this game. I was actually pitching. I threw 2 innings and I struck out the side in both innings. And then there was like a long rain delay, like 3, 4 hours. And then Brian, he asked me, "Do you want to go back out there?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, give me the ball." And I just got tattooed, man. I would never forget that, man. I got tattooed, man. Tattooed.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
And then I came the very next day. That game, I threw around 160 pitches. I'm not even lying. And like
Oh my God.
4 or 5 innings, and I allowed like 6 runs. And
Damn.
I came the very next day and threw another 80 pitches. So yeah,
Damn.
my arm was falling off, man. It was
How
falling
old
off.
were you back then?
I think at the time I was like 16, 17.
Oh, la
Yeah,
juventud.
16.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I was young, probably younger, man. It was between 15, 17. I don't really remember, but yeah, that's my memory. That
So,
humbles
so
me.
you, so this is a time that you had on the mound. You said you started playing as shortstop.
Hmm.
When we were teammates, I seen you play in the outfield too.
Hmm.
And so I know you play a lot of positions. You're very versatile.
Hmm.
So, what is your favorite position? What do you say is Ariel's primary position?
My best position, I say, is center field, but my favorite is shortstop. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
everybody wants to be shortstop.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
That's awesome. So, like on the mound, I know I've seen you throw gas. I've seen you throw breaking pitches. So, what's your repertoire? What do you throw? Two seamer, four
N-
seamer, curveball.
well, my fastball is a cutter. It's not a four seamer. I throw it like a cutter. I throw a curveball, 12 to 6, a circle change, and a two seamer occasionally, but it just comes out with the cutter. It depends how I spin it. But yeah, just those four pitches. I don't really throw anything else.
So you don't throw anything straight. You're
No,
like
no, yeah, it moves.
even your
Everything
fastball
moves.
has movement.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
cutter, your
everything
two
moves.
seamer, inside out. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned you had a memory that you didn't have a good game. Tell me a memory of a good game, just a day that you just raked it and you're never gonna forget.
Uh, I remember also with the Scorpions. Uh, yeah, I remember I brought my boy Austin. I brought him Austin Rivera. I brought him to play. He was looking for a team at the time, and I brought him to play. And I used to be the third hitter for the Scorpions. So Brian, I brought in Austin. I gave him the scouting report, so he put him hitting third and moved me down to fifth.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
did you
yeah.
feel?
Yeah, I was pissed off, but at the same time, that's my boy. He's one of my closest friends, so it is what it is. But yeah, just a little fire under me. I went 5 for 5, hit 2 home runs that day, and it was.
Ooh.
And yeah, Brian was like, maybe that should be your spot, hitting fifth, and I was like, I don't know, man. But yeah,
Oh man.
it's
Yo,
my
two
best
dingers
career.
that day,
Yeah,
man?
yeah, my best career. And if I'm not mistaken, it was against the Grays. I'm
Ooh.
not really sure if it was, but I believe it was.
Mm.
Hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Hmm.
So you play with a lot of teams. So you play with Too Hot, Real Splitter, the Titans back in the days.
Hmm.
So what's your favorite team? Is it your Cubs team? Is it the Titans back in the days?
Obviously, is
Since
my favorite team. Yeah, the
your
Cubs is
team,
my
your
favorite
team.
team. Yeah, all the vibes, man. All those guys on that team I've known for years, so I have a personal relation. Yeah, I'm their coach, but I'm also their friend. So that's my favorite team.
So are you a player coach? Do you put yourself to play every once in a while,
Yeah,
or
no,
do you
yeah, I
focus on
play.
coaching?
No,
Okay, okay.
I play, but I sit myself a lot too, just to give other guys opportunities. But yeah, I play.
When when you play, are you third batter, hitting shortstop?
I hit myself second or third. Yeah.
All right, all right, all right. Hey, whatever makes a team win,
Yeah,
right?
definitely,
So how
definitely.
did your last season go?
No, we were
Both in Rail Splitters
no,
and
no, no.
Cubs.
Cubs was terrible. We didn't even win a game, man. We didn't even win a
You're,
game. We had
it's a
no pitching.
rebuilding.
Yeah, no, a new team. We had no pitching, man. We had position players pitching. I blew out my arm pitching. It was just a mess. But at the same time, we lost a lot of close games, a lot of one-run games. There was a game actually against Too Hot that we should have won, and the umpire, I don't know. Yeah, Felix hit a walk-off home
Oh
run, and
no, Felix, was it in Dubs?
No, it was in Brooklyn, man. I don't remember the
Oh,
field. I don't
but
remember the field, but it was in Brooklyn.
Felix is probably the
No,
best hitter Too
one
Hot
of the
has.
best
So
hitters. No, he's one of the
you
best
can't
hitters
let
in the
him
whole
beat
league.
you. So these are things that you remember as a
Hmm.
coach. You
Exactly.
cannot let their best hitter beat you. So put you around
Hmm.
them, even give them the four fingers, whatever
Nah,
it
yeah,
takes, right?
exactly. It's all you learn. You live and learn.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So so you played against Too Hot.
Hmm.
So what other teams like? What team do you like to beat? Is it Too Hot? Because
Nah,
you know a
nah,
lot of the
man.
guys there.
Nah, man. The Nassau Yankees is probably my favorite team to beat.
Why is that? Oh, why them? Why you
uh,
gotta pick on them? The
Nah,
whole the
nah,
whole
nah,
Metro League picks
nah.
on them.
It's
Why is
not
that?
picking, man. It's just I don't know, man. I guess Will's a really good dude. I get along with him really well, but it's just something about that team. I don't know, man. It probably I always have a good game against that team. I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know, man. Yeah.
So, all right. So after this first season, let's call it a rebuild season.
Hmm.
So what did you learn as a manager in the Cubs?
It's tough, man. I didn't really have a lot of opportunities to coach. We were always down. So, you know, probably the two opportunities that I had to really coach The first game I blew it myself. I took out the setup, man, a little too late. I came in, I brought in myself to finish out the game, but it was already a tied game. And I just hit 4 batters in a row. But that was probably, I learned a lot from that because I messed those 2 games up. But we'll see, man. I have to coach again. I actually picked up my first win coaching in fall ball for the Rails for the single A squad. And it
Oh,
felt good.
wow.
It felt good. It felt good, yeah. I think I was due a win.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you mentioned, you had a game that you had a few dingers. So let's get to a very important topic. And this is something that I was known for back in my days when I used to play, and you're known for, and that is the perreo. Háblame de los perreo. You're the type of guy que you could hit a single, flip the bat, walk there. You know what I'm saying? So tell me about that. Like, what brings you into that type of game?
Man. I don't know, man. I don't even notice when I do it.
Right.
It's just
like instinct, right?
Exactly. That's just what it is. I don't try to do it. Pitchers don't like that. That I get hit a lot. It's probably because of that. But I don't know. It's just instinct. I don't really try to do it. It just happens.
So you pitch and you hit. So what do you prefer? To like hit a bomb and flip the bat and walk, or do you want to strike a guy out y hacerle un bailecito y vaina? Una salsa.
Actually, pitching, I don't really show anyone up, man. I'm quiet on the mound. But, I'd rather hit a homer, man. You know how it is.
No, it's true. It's true. There's something about it, like there's the flip itself. There's you walk with the bat all the way to first base type of perreo. So, like, it happens. It happens.
I like to flip the bat, definitely.
That's awesome. So I know we're running a little bit in time here. We don't want to keep this too long for everyone. So I just want to thank everyone for joining. I see a lot of comments there. So I saw Felix join in. So shout out Felix, Mama Huevo. You could beep that out. So one important thing is, like, we all play ball, right? And as kids, we play baseball. It teaches us, they say discipline and a lot of stuff. So what are some of the things that you've learned in baseball and you apply it to, like, real life?
Discipline, man. When I was younger, I used to get in a lot of trouble, man. And honestly, sports, I'm not saying I was like a ghetto kid. That's not what it was. I was just a troublemaker, As a kid, we all do those things. But discipline is probably the main thing. I changed a lot. And now I'm really quiet. I just go about my business. I don't really look for trouble. But discipline, that's the main thing.
That's very important. Kids at home, take discipline from Ariel. Good advice. Definitely. Good advice. All right. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything that, what are you doing for the quarantine? Like, how are you keeping in shape? Are you hitting the cages?
Well, not really. I went to practice for the first time yesterday, since the beginning of March. We had our first scrimmage that day, and that was the last baseball activity I did. But I actually went to practice yesterday for the first time.
Oh, how did that feel, man? To touch a ball and
it felt good. It felt good,
swing
man.
A bat.
I actually, my arm was dead, man. After a few throws, my arm was killing me, man. But it felt good. It felt good to get back out there.
Cógelo suave, little by little, right?
Yeah,
little by little.
Definitely.
That's awesome, man. All right, Ariel, thank you so much for joining us. So everyone on the page, thank you so much for joining as well. So Ariel's his journey, playing ball with Too Hot back in the days. And I just hope everyone stays safe. And hopefully, si Dios quiere, we'll get back to playing ball real soon.
That's all we want. That's all we want.
That's right. All right. Thank you all. Be safe. Have a good weekend.